Hey, today we're going to talk about how to convert a plot chart or a line chart into equal fractions. So the first thing I want to do is figure out, well, how many of these do we have? Well, we have 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 15 kind of different sized fractions of things, right? They're all kind of different sizes. So what we want to do is add them all up first. We can get this one giant super fraction size. And then we're going to divide that by 15 so that we can put them up into equal parts. So let's start with task 1, add everything up into one giant pile. So this plot chart tells me I have 3 1/3. That's what each of these x's represents. In fact, I have 3 of those. I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, which is the same as 3 times 1/3. So we're going to use multiplication to make it a little bit faster. So 3 times 1/3 is 3 over 1. So that's 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3, 3 over 3, that's 1. And you'll get to see a little bit more about what I just did there. But for right now, just remember that this is 1. Do the same thing here. So each of these x's means I have 3 1/4. So I have 3 1/4 blocks. And I can either do 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, or I could do 3 times 1/4. That's the same thing. So add them all up. So I'm going to put over 1. And now I'm going to do 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. So that means 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is the same as 3/4. So put that here. Now I have 2 eighths. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could either just add them all up, or we can do our multiplication trick, which is what I recommend for us to do. So hopefully you guys can think. We have 4 of them. And they're all 2 eighths, so it should be 4 times 2 eighths. And you always put the 4 over 1. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 8 is 8. Great, so we're done with that. Now we're going to do the 5 eighths. Well, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. So what times what do you think we got to do? Correct. Hopefully you got 3 times 5 eighths, because we have 3 of them, and they're exactly 5 eighths. So 5 eighths plus 5 eighths plus 5 eighths is the same as 3 times 5 eighths. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 8 is 8. So that's 15 eighths. Do the same thing with 4 eighths. We only have 1. 1 times 4 eighths is 4 eighths. Last we have 1 eighth. 1 eighth times 1 is 1 eighth. Great. We now have summed up each of these, what we call columns. Now we have to sum up each of these guys. So let's start doing that. 1 eighth plus 4 eighths is 5 eighths. 5 eighths plus 15 eighths is 20 eighths. That's what we have so far. 20 eighths plus 8 eighths, well, that's going to be 28 eighths. And this is in fourths, so we need to get this into eighths so we can add it with our other eighths. So we have to say 3 over 4 equals what over 8? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, so whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So now we create an equivalent fraction, but our new bottom number is 8. So 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. And now, instead of adding 3/4, we'll add 6 eighths. So 28 eighths plus 6 eighths is 34 eighths. So now that's added. And the last thing is 1. Well, we can kind of think of this as 1 over 1, but we really want to have it something over 8, right? Well, how do we get from 1 to 8? Well, we have to times by 8. And whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. We have to times that by 8. 1 times 8 is 8. So 1 is the same as 8 over 8. Now we have to add that to this. And 34 plus 8 is 42 over 8. That is everything added up. And now we need to divide by how many we have. So that's the giant pile, step 1. Step 2 is to divide the giant pile by 15, because we want to have 15 equal pieces. So we have to divide this by 15. And good thing to do when you divide a fraction, right? So whenever you're dividing a fraction, since we're kind of over here, so it's more space, so we have 42 over 8. So we're dividing by 15. Good thing to do is just to multiply by the reciprocal. So 42 over 8 times, and this is like 15 over 1, right? So we're going to multiply by, instead of dividing by 15, we're going to multiply by 1 over 15. and just multiply like normal. So 42 times 1 is 42, and 8 times 5, well 8 times 10 is 80, 5 times 8 is 40, 40 plus 80 is 120. So this right here is technically our answer. That is the answer when you divide by 15, but we can simplify this. It turns out that 2 can go into both the top and the bottom, so let's find an equivalent fraction that's smaller, divide the top by 2. So 42 divided by 2 is, I'm going to write the answer way over here, 21. And 120 divided by 2 is 60. Again, whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. Now we can also divide by 3. So we divide 21 by 3, and we're going to get 7. And whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 60 divided by 3 is 20. This is our final answer in simplified form. Hopefully that helps.